This is one of Governor Hutchinson's initiatives, is that he wants all individuals who are capable and able to work to begin working. As you know, that will reduce the dependence on entitlements and will help these individuals find their own place in the world. And so we're really excited about this. Really excited about maybe in the future sharing you the opportunities that Rotary is doing in other states as a part of this initiative. Today we have Philip Adams, who I will tell you is a graduate of Hendrix College. Yay! He is the project director for Arkansas Promise. He has served as director for the Arkansas Promise Model Demonstration Project since January 2014. Previously, he served as a liaison to the Department of Human Services and the Department of Health in the Office of Governor Mike Beebe. Philip was raised in Fayetteville. We'll have to forgive him for that, but again, he is a graduate from Hendrix. Please join me in welcoming Philip Adams.
Thank you, Sharon, very much. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to be here today. I would pass around my own notebook to help pay for some of that Hendrix College education. But we've got a limited amount of time. Sharon is one of our partners on Arkansas Promise. And one of the reasons it's a model demonstration project is we've been asked to take a new approach to serving people with disabilities and their families, specifically young people with disabilities and their families, to achieve better long-term outcomes, better quality of life over the long term. So Sharon works with us through her role at DDS and is a great partner, and just thank you for having us. Thank you. So what is Arkansas Promise to begin? In 2013, the Office of Special Education in DC put out a request for proposals to all 50 states to say, as the federal government often does, show us how to do this better. And lots of states responded to that, and 6 states were awarded a 5-year research grant to show improved outcomes for youth who receive disability benefits from the federal government. So we've got 5 years to do that. We've laid out the program in terms of its activities and supports and have said, here's what we expect to achieve with these inputs. We are in some pretty competitive company. Both Maryland and Wisconsin have some of the top, both higher education and state agency services for people with disabilities in the country. California and New York were atop the list of applicants who received awards as well, along with these 6 states here who are operating as a single research site. So the idea is at the end of the 5 years, the Social Security Administration and their contractor will evaluate all 6 sites, pick the best model, and then push for policy change to affect that model for all. As we're doing a research project in Arkansas, we're very limited on the number of youth and families that we can serve. We're serving 1,000 youth and their families with our services, and we will enroll 1,000 others to compare the outcomes so that we have a control group to show that our intervention was effective. Why did it happen from the federal government? As we all may be familiar, every once in a while, like every 3 or 6 months, there is another story or battle at the federal level about the Social Security Trust Fund. Outside of retirement benefits, that trust fund also includes disability benefits for both adults and kids. And it is growing as a remarkable portion of the federal budget. So, for our purposes, we have 1,000 youth that we're serving and their families. At the federal level, this is a cost-benefit analysis. It's a pretty low bar on our end in that if 50 of the youth that we serve transition into working adult lives and stop receiving benefits, then the entire 5-year program will pay for itself. Same money. It's not new money in any way. It's a shifting of funds and spending it at the right time for the right people in the right place that results in the societal benefit as a whole. As we zoom in Arkansas, we are limited to these 25 counties. And that's about recruitment, to make sure that we could get 1,000 kids in each group to do the program. Here in Central Arkansas, Faulkner, of course, was second on that list in terms of population and eligible youth and families. You can see as well, these I think are, if not exactly, the most populous counties in the state. 25 most populous counties in the state. Arkansas Promise, the overall goal for everybody in the program is higher levels of education attainment and better employment outcomes. What we're secondarily charged with is make those two talk to each other better. Better coordination of all the services that we're providing locally, at the county level, at the state level, and at the federal level. Let's make those work together better. And in one sense, that's just called partnership, which is a pretty short and sweet word that means a whole lot of driving around the state, is what it means to me, among other things. But it also means interagency collaboration, which again, means a whole lot of things for us, and Sharon and I can attest. It's sometimes pretty and it's sometimes not pretty. But our focus, again, is on the kids that we're serving in their long-term goals. So to better coordinate some of those services, Promise uses a number of different staff from a number of different agencies. Primarily, the connector works directly for the research grant and provides the family's bridge to a number of other service providers and agencies throughout the program. We have two of them here today, Antonio Jameson, hello, and Sylvia Goggin. Antonio and Sylvia work specifically in Faulkner County, and only in Faulkner County. One of the ways we have redesigned the services that we provide, when we're fully recruited, Antonio and Sylvia will each serve 20 families. If you compare this with the caseloads that other agencies have, it is almost 10% of some of the other caseloads. At ARS and some at DHS are looking at 190 to 250 families that they're trying to serve. And in a given week or a given month, it's very difficult to make true connections and true change with those families. In addition, there's a transition specialist who works with the schools and the connector and the job coach and the benefits counselor to make sure we're doing that work, to make sure what we're doing for a work experience or a job lines up with what we're doing in school. Our job coaches work with the Department of Workforce Services, and in Conway, our man on the ground is Bobby Strobel, who has joined us today as well. Thank you. And our benefits counselors are on call, and what they do is they are trained to know all of the hundreds and hundreds of pages of rules and regulations regarding receiving federal benefits. So they're an on-call support for our families. Because here's a big catch. When a family's receiving benefits, it is sometimes a long and arduous process to get there in terms of documenting that your youth has a disability and what barriers exist because of that disability and whether or not that qualifies you for the federal benefit. It can sometimes take years. And once it does, the general idea is status quo, right? Don't change anything or they'll yank it away. What the benefits counselors and our whole team are trying to help support in this way is there are built-in work incentives to the benefits that were in place, some of them 4 years ago, some of them 10 years ago, some of them have been in place for 30 years. But they're not branded and advertised. You know, this is not something that is a brochure out on a shelf for everybody to pick up. So we want to make sure that everybody knows it can be a smooth transition with the right supports. So, when a youth comes to us at Promise, they're 14 to 16. We have school-based services that are going on. Our Arkansas Rehabilitation Services does interest and career assessments with those youth. Our connectors are working on long-term school and work goals and coordinating small little job shadowing experiences, right? Unpaid, on-the-job learning sessions. We've got a running curriculum that goes the whole 4 years remaining to increase the youth's ability to advocate for oneself, to determine what my goals are. The benefits counselors make sure our benefits are stable and we're on the right track to transition off if we desire. And then a big piece of Arkansas Promise, we are coordinating 2 full summer jobs for each youth in the program. So that's 200 hours each. That's $7 to $8 an hour depending on where they live. And they are with employers in the local community on site. And then long term, because we're a 5-year research grant, it's not come in, see us, and then our case is closed and you're on your own. We're with them until 2018. The long-term goals, as we saw earlier, if it's applicable, what does that post-secondary credential look like, education-wise? And then for everybody, though, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I will be the first to admit, I don't know the answer to that question. But to have that goal and to work toward that goal is monumental, especially for a lot of our youth who have never been presented with the question. Right, so brief audience participation. I'm going to offer you apples or oranges. Who prefers apples? Please raise your hand. Great. Who prefers oranges? Good. Why didn't you pick banana? It wasn't offered. Yeah, and that I think gets to probably the quickest heart of the issue when we're talking about long-term employment outcomes, right? Like, what is offered? What is provided as options on the table? Because if it's only apples and oranges, you can't be upset when they don't pick banana. We just wrapped our first summer of work experiences. Bobby, Antonio, Sylvia, and our transition specialists worked with 9 this summer in Faulkner County. Is that right? 8 this summer in Faulkner County. Next summer in 2016, we're looking at 20 kids, and we'll probably have 20 kids working in 16, 17, and 18, the rest of the program. But you can see for youth with disabilities in their first job, we talk about supported employment. If we send somebody out to their employer for their first job ever, with no support, especially if you had no experience or exposure to work in the past, it generally doesn't go very well. And we saw some of those around the state that didn't have the right supports at the right time. But if we have all of those preliminary activities, job readiness training, and we have the support of Bobby and his team, we have the support of the employer up front that says, I know this is going to be a little different. All right, this is a job that I'm providing. And Bobby pays the wages on these from workforce directly, so the employer's not out wages here. But they say, I know it's not just strictly employee. I know it's a mentoring situation. I know it is a growth situation. And then the youth and the family as well, to say, I'm committed to this, I'm supporting this, and we're all in this together. It's a lot. But again, as we look at that cost benefit, if we zoom out, it's a lot at the right time so that it reduces the long-term costs for everybody. I want to show a little video for you, just to give you an idea about, there we go. Okay, this was produced by KNWA in Northwest Arkansas.
Promise program.
The University of Arkansas-based project is funded by a $32 million federal grant. Its goal, help low-income Arkansas teens with disabilities get job experience.
KNWA's Ben Klein met with one of those kids today, and he joins us now in the studio with his story. Ben?
Lane Jonathan, for many children with disabilities, starting a career after school can be difficult. And through the Arkansas Promise, many are getting summer jobs for the first time. I caught up with a Cave Springs teen who's in his second week at work, and he's loving every minute of it.
A lot of people tell them they can't do things, and we're here to help show them that they can.
17-year-old Harry Schaefer can't wait to get to work each morning.
I'm always in a rush to get to work. I get breakfast, and I like having bacon in the morning, and the eggs and toast.
Then it's a quick walk to Nelson's Hardware, just down the street from his Cave Springs home.
I head off to work with my Nelson's hat on, and I just walk up here happy and proud and ready to go to work.
The Arkansas Promise giving teens with disabilities opportunities to get hands-on job experience. Hundreds of kids across Arkansas getting a chance to make some money and plan for their lives after high school.
There's a lot of research that shows that the early introduction of successful paid employment to youth increases the likelihood that when they reach adulthood that they will maintain employment. Close to $550,000 can be saved for every youth that at age 18 maintains successful employment and comes off of the SSI payroll.
Jamie Thornton with the Arkansas Promise says this is many of the kids' first jobs.
They can really surprise themselves and their parents, helping them find that direction of what they're interested in and what goals for them to set is very important.
Schaefer says he's got big plans for his first paycheck.
I'm going to use some of that money, too, to get me a pet.
Oh, yeah?
A furry animal. Petco. I already have one in mind.
What are you going to get?
A ferret.
Okay.
I've always been wanting to get one.
A little spending money and a sense of pride that all comes in a hard day's work.
But I'm a great hard worker. And once I get done, I'm ready for the next day, and I just go home and relax, waiting for the next day to happen.
Currently, 1,124 teens are enrolled in the Arkansas Promise program. The goal is to have 2,000 by April of next year. Live in the studio, I'm Ben Klein for KNWA.
So, Harry was one of 350 kids that went through their first paid summer job in 2015. I think of the group, over half reached their goal and worked 200 hours. And for many of them, this was their first paycheck ever. Made out to them, handed to them every day for payday. And we've seen some pretty tremendous turnarounds and changes in all aspects of these kids' lives outside of even their work. I've got one more guest to introduce, and I'll ask y'all to come up and have a seat. Becky Edwards is here today. Becky, you want to wave and say hi? Becky is mom to Sean Bays, and Sean is here in Faulkner County. Works with Antonio on a regular basis as his connector. And Sean worked this summer at the Community Action Program for Central Arkansas. And he's still working at the Community Action Program for Central Arkansas. So y'all come on up and have a seat. We're going to chat just a few minutes about let's pick any of this. Okay, great. So, Becky, will you start us off and just tell us a little bit about Sean?
Well, yeah, you hold that for me. This is my little angel. The one we're talking about, this is Sean. He's going to be one of your more severely disabled children that he will not ever be able to hold an 8-hour job by himself. He has a seizure disorder. He's partially paralyzed on one side. And he has autism. Never in a million years would I ever have guessed that he would have been able to go to the prom, that he would be able to get a job. He could have told me last year, Sean can get a job, have his own paycheck, do his own thing. whatever money he wants to. I'd have said, no, it's not gonna happen. But thank God for Arkansas Promise, he's been able to do that. And I thank God every day for the progress that he makes. If it was not for Arkansas Promise, and the Workforce Center, they go every day, every 3 days, he works 3 days a week. Somebody from the Workforce Center goes with him. Because with his seizure disorder, he is not to be left alone at all, ever. If he has a seizure at work, it's on them, it's not on me because I'm not there, I can't do anything about it. So I thank God also for the Workforce Center and for Arkansas Promise.
Tony, tell us your experience with Sean and Becky as well.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's a blessing that I work for Arkansas Promise. And I met Miss Becky and them a year ago. And at first she told me that Sean, he has to warm up to you, Antonio. So since then, we've been to a basketball game. I come on his work site with him. I goes to the house, we play darts all the time. And when he see me, he look right in the eye, she tell me every time, he gonna be so happy. So, and I can see it, he give me a hug. The other night, once a month, we also have a program monthly. We had our monthly meeting Tuesday at the Fulton County Library. Bless them that they let us have it. Well, the kids, we did a love yourself. So we do team building exercises. So today, Tuesday night, we talked about values. And then the kids made they look, I am strong. What was Sean's? Remember? You can't remember? But we did selfies and everything, and he really loved it. And with his work experience, we want to thank Mr. Bob and them and his co-worker named Miss Lynn. She shows up there too. But Sean, we're gonna work on a couple more things with Sean, but he loves the program, and we blessed to help Ms. Elvis out with Sean.
I'd like to say I was present the first time whenever they first met, Antonio and Sean, and with Grandma. And he has absolutely blossomed from a child that kind of sat to the side and done his own thing to a child that opens up now, smiles. Haven't got a hug from him yet, but I expect that any time now. But he used to kind of play, I guess, or kind of play fight with Grandpa. And so the other day I kind of fist bumped with him, and I mean, he's just come a long way. It's just incredible to see all these kids working, and Sean's not the only one. Like Philip said, we had 8 this summer that did a phenomenal job, and very, very excited about this program. And I've worked social work somewhere in the vicinity of 28 years, and this is just the most positive program that I've had the opportunity to work with. I'm blessed to be a part of it.
I see several familiar faces out in the crowd here. Y'all, if anybody knows about our program, I work with Central Arkansas Planning and Development District. We basically do the same thing we do here and with Promise. That's kind of why we transition together. We give 16 to 24-year-olds paid work experiences in places around Faulkner County. So when we came to the difference between what we do with our regular programs and the Promise was the job coach aspect, which, to be honest, I mean, I'm saying this now, when Mom came to us and Antonio came to us and told us their fears of Sean working in thing, we started freaking out a little bit. We ain't gonna lie to you. Because of his disability and stuff like that. And when we first met him, we kind of understood what they were going with, but we started working with him. Shortly after he started working, he started opening up. He'd start doing stuff that you think he keeps messing up, and then you realize, you look up at him as you're helping him, and he's got a smile in his eye, and he's grinning a little bit, and he's messing with you. Sean does that a lot. He likes to mess with you because he has the idea that you don't think he can do it, but he's already done it and doing something else to mess with you to show you he can. Sean has made so many leaps and bounds from what I first met him less than a year ago. Actually, it was probably about 6-7 months ago I first met him. He's come out of a shell from what we've seen in Workforce Center. And so I don't know what else to say. That's great.
Anybody have any questions for the group? Okay. Well, thank you all very much. We've got almost 350 of those stories. Now, we do have some stories where we set up the work experience, Bobby's crew was ready, the employer was ready, mom was ready, and the kid took an unannounced trip to Mexico with his friends. That has nothing to do with a disability, though, right? That has everything to do with being 16.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a challenge no matter what. But that same anxiety and fear that Bobby said struck them, I'm sure struck that employer, and is similar to a lot of trends in the past when we try and do more inclusive workplaces. I mean, some of the things that you read when, quote unquote, women were introduced to the workforce is pretty remarkably similar in nature in terms of a fear-based anxiety and unknown there. So we're trying to help with that, and that's what that extra support is about. That job coach is not just there for the youth. They're there for that supervisor too, and they're there for that support staff. We do have our website. Due to our time, I want to respect everybody's time. I'm going to get to the end, but Governor Hutchinson, as Sharon said, with his initiative, is strongly supportive, as was Governor Beebe, of this project, and has put a call out on video for us to recruit more employers to participate. As I said, we served 8 this last year, and we're looking at 20 next year in Faulkner County. And we're going to need employers who want to serve these families to help those long-term outcomes. We also have a few more kids to recruit. One of the tricks about doing a research project is you need a suitable sample size. So what you've heard in terms of Sylvia, this is the most meaningful service project she's ever been involved in. Miss Edwards saying, I don't know what would have happened if it weren't for Arkansas Promise. Antonio, I'm so blessed to work for somebody like this. We're doing this for 1,000 kids. If this goes full on, we would be doing this for 25,000 kids. So that's where we really want to make our recruitment numbers. So any help that Rotary or as individuals you can provide on both counts would be greatly appreciated. Both to spread the word about the program to families with children with disabilities, but also spread the word either with your own or businesses that you know in the community who might want to support the families in Faulkner County. That's all. That's all I've got. Does anybody have any questions or clarifications? Bobby is local, and I've got his information here, and he's got cards as well. He's the best contact if there is a business that would like to go ahead and get signed up. So, good to see you.
I just want to say something. We run the program. We run this program